Okay, let's get started. Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of The Invitation. This film is now available exclusively on theaters. Now, as always, all my reviews are with spoilers. If you don't want them just to see if this was worth it or not, on the description box down below, there you're going to find my spoiler-free review, because I like to give you guys the two options. So giving that little second disclaimer ahead, let's get into the video. Now, The Invitation follows after the death of her mother. Evie is approached by an unknown cousin who invites her to a lavish wedding in the English countryside. Soon she realizes that a godly conspiracy is afoot and must fight for survival as she uncovers twisted secrets in her family history. Now, the best way to describe this film is Gets Out meets Ready or Not meets Dracula meets Crimson Peak. If you already watched the film, you will know what I'm talking about. If not, let's get ready. Now, to give the brief summary, Evie just lost her mother, and while she's working as a waitress on this event, doing these gift bags of doing DNA tests and finding out more about your family. Since she has no one else, she decides to do it, and a result pops up and is a cousin from England. He asks her to meet her, and they meet, and he's like, we have a wedding soon, do you want to come so you can meet everyone else? And everyone's so excited, and she's like, you know what, I don't have no one else, so why not? When she arrives, she's going to be meeting Walt, that it's the lord of the house, which is a gorgeous mansion, if you ask me. Gorgeous. Like, I would love to have the house. Beautiful. The actual opening scene of the film, it's a scene on the house. We have a woman that kills herself, and then we jump to see Evie. So of course it's pretty easy to recognize the house, so we already know that something dark has happened and something dark is waiting for Evie. Well, if you watch the trailer, basically you know it all. The trailer gives away basically the whole film, and it's sad because it takes away the impact or the element or surprise. Of course, she's meeting the rest of the family of the bride, the family of the groom, and a groom and a bride that we don't see until the end, basically. And she's having this type of interactions with the lord of the house, and we can see that something will be coming up between the two of them. But while all of that is happening, and Evie is getting along with the families and getting to know everyone else, some servants from the house are getting killed, and Evie's having some weird dreams. Now, of course, she and Walt are getting into this romance phase, and he asks her in bed, like, will you marry me? And she's like, yeah, sure. But he takes it too seriously, and she's like, I am joking. And he's like, yeah, and he leaves. And that night, when we're supposed to be meeting the groom and the bride, we know that, of course, the plot twist is that Evie is going to marry Walt because he's a vampire. He already has his two other brides, he needs a third, and that's the reason that the family is there. Basically, it's this condition that three families must provide one bride. But the woman that killed herself at the beginning was from the family of Evie. They are the Alexandre, and she killed herself, and they needed another one, but they only have men on the family. There was no woman, and for years they have been waiting for her until, of course, she finally appeared in New York, because her direct family basically left like the English countryside and left to New York. So this is why she didn't even knew about them, and they didn't knew about her. And this is when things get like more dark and twisted, because now, of course, Evie knows the real reason that she's there and why Walt was so interested in her. It wasn't because he was in love with her, but rather because he needed her. Of course, we get along with the wedding, and she kills them all. Like, we have some fighting scenes, her running and getting chased, a lot of killing, not that much blood. I was expecting a little bit more. And the film ends with her basically getting revenge on the family that get out alive of the wedding. And that's basically it. It's pretty simple. The film is 1 hour and 44 minutes, but it goes really fast. So I felt like it was a little bit shorter, but it was good because it wasn't boring. Now, on the things that I like it, I really like the music. I think that the music played perfectly with the aesthetic of the mansion that was really vampire gothic, that type of aesthetic. So, of course, works with it. Visually, the house, the settings, they look amazing. I think that they really fit the story because the house combined the wealth of all the families and the vampire aspect of it. The film takes place mostly on the house because we got some scenes in New York, then we go straight to the house, and then a little scene on a little town that is next to the house, and that's it. And on London, but it's very briefly, meaning that the majority of the film takes place into the house and on the outsides. But it was gorgeous. Like I said, I want the house, but without the ghost and the vampires. But I want the art and the statues, gorgeous. Now the costumes, I think that they were good, but I was expecting a little bit more of her wedding gown because before she's revealed like the whole plan, and I mean reveal because the trailer gives you all, so we already know what is going to happen. Even the poster, she has this gorgeous dress. It's red and has like some feathers, gorgeous. And her wedding dress, it's very simple. Like I was expecting a little bit more on that side, but costumes, I think that they were good, but I was expecting a little bit more. Now, when it comes to the plot, like I said, the plot is very simple, very straightforward. Of course, we'll understand pretty quickly. Kinda predictable, but this film, it's like I said, it's Get Out, Crimson Peak, Dracula, and Ready or Not, but way simple and commercial. Like the film feels very mainstream, so that's like one of the main downsides. So the plot is simple and can be fun. This is a pretty enjoyable film. I wasn't expecting that. It has some moments that are funny. They get some jokes there and there, but it's really enjoyable. I found myself laughing more than once and actually enjoying the film. So there's no complaints in that. Now, on the things that I didn't like is the fact that relies so much on the jump scares. It's really dark. Most of the film it's very dark. So of course we know jump scares are happening. There's some scenes that is so damn dark that we're supposed to be seeing a ghost. You basically can see her. Like it's almost like it's not there, and like what the hell we're supposed to be looking at. Like it doesn't really work. And there's some moments on the plot that they don't kind of make sense because the film kind of looks like it's going in one direction but it goes on another. But I think that the biggest downside is the romance slash relationship between Evie and Walt. Because we're supposed to be feeling like the spark and this attraction, but it's not there. I feel like they could have added more scenes of them getting together and not knowing each other that much because of course this is supposed to go pretty quickly, but maybe doing more things together, not just meeting, then he apologizing because he was kind of rude at the beginning, and on the next day asking for her because she was late because she got asleep, and then at night sending her a dress and them kissing on the fireworks and then spending the night with her, and then on the day, like they don't spend that much time to like really get to know each other and to feel that spark, because I feel like they try to make it like a dark romance. Like this man is built to be that dark villain type of book that the villain gets with the main character at the end, like that type of character, but without like the spark or the right words. I don't know, it wasn't working. I think that they could have done it a little bit better in that side for me to really believe that he was in love with her, because of course he's tricking her, and it's even a scene that he really looks genuine but makes me feel confused as to why it was put there, because she is asking to him why he had some papers and a folder with information. Of course we know why, But he's like, well, I didn't want it to have a stranger in my house. I didn't want it to have an opportunist or someone that was just behind the money, which is understandable to a certain point, but of course we know that that's not the real reason. And then they lay on bed and he starts talking, and of course she's asleep. He starts talking like to the ceiling that he wants to find someone that actually likes him for who he is and not for what he has. And it looks really genuine, and I was like, well, maybe he's going to take a step back at the end of his plan and maybe being actually in love with her. But no, that didn't happen. Like, he was tricking her, and of course she's not hearing him. So why you're putting that scene of him saying his feelings and that he wants someone who actually wants to be there with him, like, and actually love him, and not because of the big house and the money? Because of course at this moment we don't know that he's a vampire. Well, we don't know, but that doesn't really have any type of relevance at the end of the story, because it's not like she actually hurt him. Because if they would have made it like she it's laying on the other side, and when he stops talking she opens her eyes and we know that she actually hurt him, that could have been a different direction. But no. So left me a little bit confused as to why you're showing his feelings if he's going to be an ass by the end of the film, and he's not actually in love with her. Like, he only wants her because it's the deal. So, but in general, like I said, I think that this film is pretty enjoyable. So this will be a fun film to watch with friends. The movie theater was actually not packed, but they were more people that I was expecting, so that was something. But definitely this is a film that you're gonna want to watch with more people, or maybe if you like these movies by yourself, fine. Like, I was enjoying it a lot. Like, this is the type of film that I would watch last, it's on the background and I'm doing something else, but I want to hear something. That will be the type of film. It gets campy just for a little bit, but really enjoyable one. But still, I think that this film will be a 2.5 out of 5 or a 5 out of 10. It's not excellent by any means. Like, the execution, poorly. Like, they could have done it better. I feel like this story had potential to be really good, and I think that that feeling comes from the fact that it's so similar to Get Out, Ready or Not, and those films, that they're so good that when you do this, and I don't think that they copy, like, on purpose, but definitely they got inspiration from those films. Have films that are so good, trying to redo it sometimes can work, sometimes it won't. And in this case, I think it was just poorly executed, but we really had the potential to be a really good horror film. But still, like I said, this is a recommendation, so if you're into this type of films, go and watch it. But well, I think that this is all. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what do you thought about this film. Did you like it? You didn't? You're gonna skip it. And this is basically the end of August. Now we have September coming next week, and we have a lot. I have been preparing all this week my video of all the films that will be coming in series on September, and there are a lot. And let me not start in October. Like, September and October are going to be packed with horror. Like these 2 months we're going to have a lot to choose from, so it's going to be a little bit for everyone, and I'm really happy to see more and more horror. It's pretty obvious, of course, October because it's spooky season, but on September, that much, I'm surprised, but I am not complaining, not even a little bit. But well, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye.